In this Star Wars Gaming news update video, I will be sharing with you new information about the future of EA's Star Wars games. This includes confirmation that the next Star Wars Jedi game will be the final one in Cal's story, and more, such as Battlefront being totally forgotten about. Before we do get into all of today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Star Wars gaming news updates. So yesterday, EA held their annual Investor Day event. During this livestream, they showed off updates to upcoming games and new technology. Star Wars games did get mentions, and I want to cover all of them in this video. These mentions gave us some new details about the future and data of Star Wars games. Let's start with the data. EA have revealed that they've made over $5 billion from Star Wars games. What's so impressive about that is that that's over $1 billion more than what George Lucas sold the entirety of Star Wars and Lucasfilm to Disney for. Next, we learned that over 40 million people have played Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor. That's a lot of people, and it's seriously impressive. Also, we recently found out that Jedi Fallen Order has become the second best-selling Star Wars game of all time, overtaking Battlefront 2. Jedi Survivor, which came out last year, is in 8th place at the moment. Another impressive stat EA revealed is that Jedi Fallen Order has sold nearly as many copies in the years following its release as it did in year one. The reason why this is so impressive is that few games sell more copies in the following years after its initial launch. Also, Jedi Fallen Order did release near Christmas, alongside The Mandalorian and The Rise of Skywalker. It was a real great time to be a Star Wars fan with tons of excitement, just so much hype, and that will have helped Fallen Order, but it actually consistently did better following the game's launch. The fact that Jedi Fallen Order continued to grow is really impressive. Now on to an update for the third Star Wars Jedi game made by Respawn. EA said last night that Respawn are working hard to bring the final chapter in Cal's story to players. Now, we already knew for a long time that the creators of the Jedi series saw this as a trilogy. This is just further confirmation from EA themselves that the third Star Wars Jedi game will indeed be the last one. They've actually been working on this game since Jedi Survivor came out last April. If I had to guess, it will come out in 2026, so a 3-year or so gap. If it does release in 2026, I could see an official reveal happening at the end of next year. There was also another Star Wars game mentioned. Motive, who developed the Battlefront 2 campaign and Star Wars Squadrons, had a section dedicated to them. They are currently developing an Iron Man game. They say that Motive are behind the critically acclaimed Star Wars Squadrons and Dead Space remake. The Battlefront 2 campaign was not mentioned. Following this, EA talked about how their collaboration with Marvel on their 2 new games is founded on their successful history with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. So in all of that, there was zero mention of Battlefront, which just so happened to be the first and third best-selling Star Wars games of all time. The one that has the biggest online community of a Star Wars game. The one that has the most interest and biggest social media numbers. During this presentation, EA shared an update on DICE, who developed those new Battlefront games. They are all in on Battlefield. That's it. It's all about the next Battlefield, and nothing more. As I've been saying for a few years now, there is no Battlefront 3. It doesn't exist. It's not being made by DICE, EA, or someone else. There are some good reasons why this isn't happening, given the state of the industry and things like that. But on the other hand, it's extremely disappointing, and it does not fall into the same trap as other failures in the gaming space. Publishers are very scared of releasing multiplayer games right now. We keep consistently seeing failures, and over half of console gamers only play FIFA, Fortnite, GTA, or Call of Duty, and Madden, if you are in the US. That's it. They don't play any other game, they just stick to their same old yearly games that are just the same usual things, and they aren't willing to try new things. So publishers don't want to take risks, and with a new Battlefront, they are scared of doing that. Even though Battlefront is not a generic game, it already has an established fan base that will turn out for it, that are still talking about the franchise, because they want a new game, and it's not just a small handful of people. We see this with some games do a new sequel to a cult favourite. No, this is the best-selling Star Wars game franchise of all time. The best-selling Star Wars game is Star Wars Battlefront 2015. It does not fall into the same category as the likes of, say, Concord, which came and went. It's Star Wars. It's not something that's much of a risk in comparison to other titles that have been releasing. I also just wanted to share this upcoming slate of confirmed Star Wars games and content that we have to look forward to in the near future and further out, assuming that these do actually come out, which, unfortunately, Star Wars games do have a track record of, well, being cancelled. As for unannounced games, Creative Assembly are working on a Total War Star Wars game, but aside from that, there are other companies making other Star Wars games. We just don't know about them yet. I would love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video down in the comment section below, so please do leave a comment, and if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help support the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos like this, and if you want to help support the channel in other ways, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member to get exclusive content. If you missed any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on the screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.